Today we celebrate the conversion of St. Paul. He was a Jew from the tribe of Benjamin. He surpassed all his peers in zeal for the Jewish law, became one of the most fierce enemies and persecutors of Christians. He was one of the conspirators in the martyrdom of St. Stephen. After the martyrdom of the holy deacon, the priests and magistrates of the Jews raised a violent persecution against the church at Jerusalem. In the fury of his zeal, Paul appealed to the high priest for a commission to take up all Jews at Damascus who confess Jesus Christ and bring them bound to Jerusalem. God was pleased to show forth in Saul his patience and mercy. He was almost at the end of his journey to Damascus when, around noon, he and his company were surrounded by a great light from heaven and fell to the ground. Then Saul heard a voice, which to him was articulate and distinct, but not understood by the rest. "Saul, Saul, why dost thou persecute me?" Christ said not, "Why dost thou persecute my disciples?" but me, for it is he, their head, who is chiefly persecuted in his servants. Saul answered, "Who are you, Lord?" And Christ said, "Jesus of Nazareth, whom you persecute. It is hard for you to kick against the goad, to contend with one so much mightier than yourself." There was a Christian in Damascus, Ananias, greatly respected by the Jews. Christ appeared to him and commanded him to go to Saul. Ananias trembled at the name of Saul because he was familiar with all the misdeeds and violence that Paul committed. But our Redeemer overruled his fears and charged him a second time to go, saying, "Go, for he is a vessel of election to carry my name before Gentiles and the children of Israel." Thus a blasphemer and a persecutor was made an apostle and chosen to be one of the principal instruments of God in the conversion of the world. St. Paul never recalled his wonderful conversion, from which have poured forth many blessings, without raptures of gratitude, praise to the divine and his mercy. The Church, in thanksgiving to God for such a miracle of grace, to commemorate so miraculous an instance of his almighty power, and to propose to penitents a perfect model of true conversion, has instituted this feast, which we find mentioned in several calendars and missals of the 8th and 9th centuries, and which Pope Innocent III commended to be observed with great solemnity. The conversion of St. Paul. You know what conversion means? It comes from the Latin, meaning con, with, version, a turn. Conversion means to turn your life around. And that's what St. Paul did. And the rest, as we know, is history, and also sacred scripture.